Yo, what's up? Question for you. Have you ever thought to yourself, what the fuck is going on in this world? How is it? It's a scam. It's a scam. You know what I mean? You know exactly what I mean. The modern world is really becoming a big scam. And I'm saying about everything, right? Compared to 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, I'm not comparing it to 200 years ago. I'm just saying it right now and how it feels in the Western world. It's a scam. And I'm sure you can agree with me. And in this video, I'm going to go a little bit into the details of that and my thoughts on it. And these are just my thoughts, so we'll go with that. But yeah, first things first, rent. What has happened to rent? All right, the demand for houses has increased, population is increasing, but rent has gone crazy. Where I live here in the west of Europe, for a room in a terrible house, I mean shitty, non-furnished, place hasn't been done in 3 months, yeah? Or don't mind 3 months, 30 years it hasn't been done. No renovations, no painting, nothing. It's just absolute bananas. You're paying 600 euros, 700 euro a month for a room. That's just for a room. In some places 800, 1,000, if it's nicer 1,200, If you're working in a minimum wage job, you're getting like, what, 2,100 after tax take home a month? So you're saying I have to pay 60% of my income on rent. Now, not rent of a house. We're renting a room here. Just one room. That is crazy. That is now before electricity, before all utilities, before bins and all this kind of stuff. So that alone is pretty crazy, It's a little bit demotivating. Next, groceries. Since COVID, since 2020, gone wild, up in the sky. Absolutely flew up there, double the price, everything. Some places I go into a shop, you know what I mean? I want to get a little Snickers bar, the shit's gone up to like €2.50. What the fuck? It's gone up 3 times. Massive, exploded. That's crazy. So groceries, through the roof. Rent, through the roof. If you want to buy a house, good luck. In Europe, all you can get is 3.5 times your annual income. So if your annual income is 60,000, you can only get a loan of what, 180, 210,000. Sure, and the average house here terrible little house that should be a commodity nearly of the people is 350,000. So with your rent of 60,000 annually, which is average, and that's average, that's not the mean. That's basically, most people don't make that because the average is skewed from the people at the top making a lot. Most people are on the lower end of that. Now you have that. So you're coming into that, you need what? Like, so 210,000, houses 350, and I'm talking about a moderate, shitty house. You need 140,000 of a deposit. Kula bula, how the hell am I gonna save up 140,000 when the rent is 6, 7, 800 euro a month per room and the groceries are mad expensive? How are you gonna do that? I don't know. Don't ask me. Nobody knows, I guess, right? If you have a house, you got it earlier, happy days. If you haven't, GG, well played, you're cooked. Kind of seems a little bit unfair. Now, additionally, the value of the houses are going up every year. So even if you saved up the deposit, it doesn't matter because you saved up 20,000. Well, it doesn't matter. The housing market went up by 10%. So that same house is now worth 380,000. So your 20,000 you saved up is even no good. Now add in inflation, your money is made less and less valuable. Thus, the value of the house is going up, but the value of goods is going up. Everything's going up. Now, on top of that, this is trying to get a house. Not easy, really hard. Of course, if you have a partner, you can combine your incomes. But like, if you think about it, a house is nearly like a commodity. Back in the day, just boom, you have a community, you build up a little shack and you live in it. That will take you 2 months, tops. 3 months. Well, now you have to pay 40 years of your whole life? 40 years or 30 years, 35, doesn't matter how long of a mortgage you take out. But that is a little bit crazy, don't you think? Additionally, on top of that, we need, what do we need? Subscriptions. We need a little bit of Netflix, a little bit of YouTube, a little bit of membership subscriptions to the gym, a little bit of this, a little bit of Spotify, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So that all adds up. Decreases your disposable income even more. Now you need a car to commute to work for a better job. That pays you 10,000 more a year annually. Ooh, that's great. Well, running your car is going to cost you 15,000. How about that? So yeah, a little bit of a rant, of course, like always, but it is kind of getting a little bit weird, isn't it? And as the years go on, it's getting harder and harder and worse and worse. And it's just starting to seem like a big fat scam. Like, back in the day, you could work up hard and kind of build a little bit of wealth. Now you work hard and you get a better job, but it's in a bigger city, and in the bigger city, the rent is double. It's €1,000 a month. Expenses are more expensive there. Expenses are more expensive. You know yourself. Well, everything's just more expensive, all right? Everything's more expensive, so it's cookery basically. It's very much cooked, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's fully cooked, but it's kind of annoying. It shouldn't be like that. I don't think. It's a little bit disheartening. I can see how people just stop work and decide, you know what, screw it, I'm not gonna do anything. It makes no difference anyway, because you're putting in all these hours. You might be breaking your body for doing hard physical work, trying to survive. And yeah, there was a period when the last 20, 30 years maybe when everything was kind of better and good, but it's getting bad. It's getting worse. And I really do hope it will get better with time, but it just doesn't seem like it. You know what I mean? Housing's going up, market's going crazy, money is getting deflated, the income is not annually is not catching up at all. So yeah, we just live in a big scam. And then if you have a big mortgage, you have a loan on a car and all that shit, then you're kind of like, you're stuck in this loop. You have to work, you have to pay it, blah 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 blah, and you're just basically done. So that's life. A little bit of a rant here once again. Sometimes we rant, sometimes we don't, but yeah, that is today's rant. Not much in debt, just a little crazy, but yeah, we'll see you later.